Welcome to That's So Clutch, an automotive podcast that bridges the gap between car industry experts and those who are not. Hey everyone, welcome back to That's So Clutch. I'm Alini Ferreira, your host, and today I have Suzette Burrow, the Chief of Marketing for the Continental Automotive Group, which is a family-owned business in Austin, Texas with 7 dealerships and counting. How are you, Suzette?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you on. This has been a long time coming.
Yes.
You are actually one of the founders of Macho Marketing at CAG.
Yes.
You started in the automotive industry in 2002, and in 2011, you and the COO of CAG created an internal marketing department known as Macho Marketing. What was once a 2-person team grew into a department with 12 people and counting. You went from receptionist to chief of marketing at the same company, and more recently, you graduated from the NCM General Management Executive Program.
Yep, that was in April.
So you've been a busy gal.
Yes. It also has been a long span of time.
Yeah. On top of all that, you're married and have 2 amazing children, so I'm sure the hard work paid off after all.
Yes.
What inspired you to start an internal marketing department for a car company?
So it was around 2009. So our COO, Timothy Shook, and I were working. I was kind of doing some videos, some walk-around videos for the company, and I think him and our owner were talking about each dealership had their own marketing company that they paid or that they hired
like
to do their
Third
marketing.
party?
A third party.
Okay.
But like every store had a different one. And so I guess they were talking one day. They're like, what if we did this in-house? Instead of paying someone else, let's pay our employees to do this. And that was like the inception. And all of a sudden I got called into the office and said, hey, we're going to start a marketing agency, and we're going to do this internally. And so I was like, okay, great. So I was a part of it, and it was me and Timothy, and we started it from scratch. It was 2009. Yeah, so it's been a few.
So the opportunity kind of arose for you.
A door opened.
Yeah.
Right.
So what were the biggest challenges you faced in creating and leading the marketing department from scratch?
Yeah, I think it was learning the different manufacturers. There's compliance and there's requirements that happen at each manufacturer, and they all require something different, or they have rules. So learning that was a challenge. I would also say learning the traditional and digital opportunities available. Again, I didn't come from this world. I was put into this world. So it was drinking from a fire hose, right?
Yeah.
Like there was so much information coming at us, and we were just trying to make the best decisions. And we've made mistakes along the way, and we learned from them. But I mean, 12 years later, I guess 13 years later now, but we're so much further than where we started. And
what's been like the
great.
biggest takeaway from this whole experience?
You can do hard things and learn hard things and be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're a walking idol of that. So up until a few years ago, marketing was mostly TV and radio. Nowadays, most people don't listen to the radio. And I don't know about you, but I don't even have cable. Like, I don't know who has cable anymore. In your opinion, how has the market changed since you started this career?
Well, you made an excellent point, right? Cord cutters. Cord cutters that in Austin specifically, I think we have one of the most tech savvy communities. Yeah. And cord cutting is massive. So advertising on traditional television isn't going to get you kind of what you want. So having different opportunities like OTT, over the top television is what OTT stands for, or connected TV. It's basically streaming services that you can advertise on. Some of them, or the ones that have ads, like Netflix doesn't have ads, so you can't run ads on there. But there's certain platforms that you can, like Hulu. So there's different opportunities there. That really started emerging, and then these companies would come to us where they used to just sell traditional. Now they're presenting digital options. And so there's just more digital options now. But yeah, you're right. Like we don't advertise on radio. We do specific sponsorships with the radio, local radio station for one of our stores, but it's always combined with like a concert of some sort or a sponsorship for a charity of some sort.
So how do you stay updated in the latest industry trends and changes in consumer behavior, especially because the automotive industry is changing and people still have that generational fear of dealerships?
Yeah. You know, you want to stay current on what's happening, for sure. A lot of time conferences you go to, especially like there's specific automotive marketing conferences that you can attend that can give you some best practices that they're seeing nationwide. So that's always good. You can read automotive news, which is going to give you what's going on in the automotive industry today, and then how that pertains to marketing and how we can help alleviate some of those pain points. And then, you know, just understanding what's happening in the environment of the digital market. EVs are huge right now, and I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later, but just knowing what's going on in the industry and knowing the tools that you need to help facilitate good marketing for our dealers.
So can you tell me any successful marketing campaigns that you've done for one of the brands that you've worked with?
There's a few that come to mind. It's mostly using influencers.
Oh, really?
Which is a new thing in marketing. Using influencers or using a nonprofit to help market in a way. But specifically, our Austin Infiniti store has an influencer that we work with. Her name is Lauren Petrowski. She used to be a news anchor here in Austin, so she has a lot of local ties to the city. And now she doesn't do that anymore, and she's an influencer. And so we use her. She's in one of our cars. She posts us and does stories and stuff on social. It's really great. And then we have a new campaign. We have a store in Dallas that's using Adolis, which, you know, he is a current baseball player. And so
for the Rangers?
Yeah. So we're using his relationship to really boost the amount of people that know that we're there. It's mostly like a branding campaign to try to get people to know that we're there.
Has it worked?
I think we've seen great success.
That's awesome.
A couple weeks ago, we gave away some tickets to a batting practice and to a game. And there was such great success, and so many people wanted to win those tickets. And then the winner was, she was amazing. And Adolis actually posted her video on his stories.
So
it was really fun. It was really fun to see. So yes,
I feel like those are the best because it's like it's heartwarming.
Organic too, right? It wasn't something that we tried to like
get this today.
Yes, it was just like we wanted to give back to somebody in our community, and we got to do it in a special way.
So we've all had that experience where we'll be talking about something like Yeti, for example, and then next thing you know, you go on Instagram and there's like a Yeti ad and it's like, here's a Yeti for $20 or whatever. How does that happen? Like, I don't understand how that happens. And I feel like this is a collective thought in the entire world.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I don't know how it happens where, you know, your phone's sitting there and you're having a conversation with your spouse or your friend, and then all of a sudden you get on social and you see an ad. I don't quite know how that witchery happens, but I do know that social media looks at what you're interested in. So if you are looking at a video, and I'm going to give an example of travel. I was going to Europe, so I was looking at a lot of travel videos on social media. Well, I started getting more and more of them because there's an algorithm, and if you're spending time on a page, they know what that's about, and it's tagged a certain way, they start feeding you more because their goal is to have you stay on their site. Like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, it is an addictive goal. They want you to stay on their site as long as possible. And how are they going to do that? They're going to learn what you're watching, what you like to watch, and then they feed those back to you. There's also, of course, retargeting. So if you go and look up a place, I'm just going to use a Bali. You may get on your social media later and you're going to get like results on your ads served about Bali or about resorts in Bali or about food or travel or all of that because it's retargeting those people to end up, you know, to get you an ad to try to get you back to that page.
So does your marketing department work on targeted ads?
We do retarget. So if you're on our website and you're looking at a specific vehicle and you're in the market for, let's say, an Outback, if you're looking at several Outbacks and then you go to ESPN or you go to, I don't know, any other website, you may get served a banner ad that says, hey, come see this Outback that that you were looking at, and that ad will click you back to the VDP that you were on. So that's what's called a retargeting ad, which we do use, and most people use, most businesses use.
Wow. So going off track a little bit, but if you could describe your job using only emojis, what would you say? The
brain exploding was the first thing that came to mind, because I feel like you're presented in marketing. I feel like you're presented with, and I don't like calling them problems, but opportunities. And so you're like, okay, mind blown. Here's this problem or opportunity. How can we fix it? And then it would be like an emoji,
a tool emoji,
or an upside down head emoji. Like, I don't know.
And then a heart.
And then the heart emoji, and I guess like super happy that you're done. So like heart eyes, I guess.
So just like a whole like list of action plans. Yeah.
It's my thought process of what happens on a day-to-day basis. But it's really
hilarious.
fun. It's really fun. I love doing it.
It's like you said, it's opportunities. So it's exciting.
Yes.
In your opinion, what are the key differences and similarities in marketing luxury brands like Audi or Mercedes-Benz compared to brands like Subaru or Honda?
I feel like luxury brands, the manufacturers themselves put more rules and regulations when it comes to what we can say.
Oh, really?
We can't say certain words, like you can't say discount,
sale.
Cheapest.
Oh.
You can't say sale. You can use the word offers. So now there are other mainstream brands where they don't have as many regulations and rules in place. You can use sale, you can use discount, and the manufacturer won't knock you for it. So there is a difference in how you market them. You have to have a certain level of sophistication when you deal with luxury brands, and that's also the audience that you're reaching to. So the ads where you're screaming specials at the TV just doesn't work. So you just have to market to your audience.
So what do you consider to be the biggest marketing challenges or opportunities in the automotive industry today?
There's something that's happening that's Google's been saying it's going to happen for the past year, maybe year and a half, but they keep on like pushing the deadline back. But what they're going to do is they're getting rid of what's called a cookie. And a cookie is a way for us to track customers online and market to them relevant information if they're interested in our vehicle type of thing. Well, they're getting rid of that. So what's going to make it important for us as dealers is we're going to have really clean first-party data. First-party data is the data that we collect ourselves, whether they've serviced with us, they've purchased with us, or they submitted a lead online with us. So we need to make sure that data is really clean, that we don't have bad emails or bad addresses. And we need to make sure that we start cleaning that up and collecting that information. Sometimes we don't collect it if they come in, or we don't collect a current email or current phone number, current address. And so we need to be more mindful of that, because we're only as good as the data we have. We're only as good at marketing with the data that we have. So,
well, and from what we've learned in the past few episodes is that these customers that are coming in, they're not just a one-time customer buying a one-time vehicle. It's like you're building a relationship. These are families coming in to buy vehicles.
Yeah.
So trailing back a little bit to what you were saying about electric, I've been seeing a lot of brands promote an electric vehicle or a lineup of vehicles. And we've even talked about it a little bit on our past episodes. From a marketing perspective, what are you doing to help move these EVs?
This is the thing. EVs are, they're here.
Yeah.
They're in the market. We have manufacturers pushing them. From a marketing perspective, my role, my job is to educate the community educate people that are in the market for a vehicle. So making sure we target the right people, making sure that we educate them on the benefits of EV. It's new to the market, and there's a lot of people that are unsure about it. Now, is it working? You know, EVs are moving a lot slower, I think, than most manufacturers anticipated. We have a lot of EVs in the market, so they are moving slower than traditional gas vehicles, but we're still working on it. I think that the infrastructure is going to get better. I think the batteries are going to get better. I think the technology is going to get better, and I think people will be more interested. But as a marketing perspective, we are trying to highlight the benefits of driving an EV.
Yeah.
We're trying. If you want an EV, you got it.
So with all the changes happening, it's still rare to see a woman in a leadership position in the automotive industry. How do you overcome the challenges that may arise as a woman?
First, I love automotive, and it is a male-dominated industry. It has been for some time. Now, when I was just started in this industry, I didn't see a lot of women in leadership positions. It's hard to see yourself in a position that you don't see someone that has your experience or your life experience than you do. So, and I think the more women we get in leadership positions in this industry, more women can see themselves in that position. You know, some of the things that I did, I got a mentor that became an advocate for me. And I think that's important. For women that don't have that, there are a lot of great books with autobiographies of amazing women that have climbed the ladder in the corporate world. Let them become your mentor. It's a great resource, and anybody can get that. Other than that, work really hard, be amazing at your job, and become an asset to your company.
What advice do you have for women who are aspiring to break barriers and succeed in such a male-dominated industry? Because, I mean, some women aren't as fortunate as the ones at CAG who have such a great culture and support system.
I read a book recently, and it was like, I think it was called Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. And
I like the title.
It's a great book. But she talks about speaking up. And so many times as women, we get scared to speak, or we shy away from it because, one, we don't think that what information we have is valuable, or we don't think like, oh, well, maybe they don't care about what I have to say. But I think speak up in those opportunities, and you don't have to be the first person that speaks, but I think you should be like, I think she talks about that in the book, as being like the third or fourth person. Just make your voice heard. It could be a question. It doesn't even have to be like a directive, or it could be just something.
Showing that you're present.
But that's a great book for women that aspire to do that.
So my last question for you isn't automotive related, but it can be if you want to. Okay. I ask everyone this. Okay. If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
You can do hard things. And I think as a young woman getting into a industry I was unfamiliar with, getting into marketing, which I was unfamiliar with. But when we started in 2009, as someone that's inexperienced, I was really nervous and then didn't know if I could actually do the job and do it well. And telling my younger self, hey, you can do hard things, and having more confidence in myself, because day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, you figure it out and you grow, and then you look back at how far you've come. There's gratitude. There's gratitude for the experience. There's gratitude even for the failures and the mistakes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in. I really enjoyed this episode. I feel like we covered a lot of stuff in this one.
A lot.
I mean, this was awesome. This was really fun to have. So thank you again, Suzette.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope you enjoyed this episode of That's So Clutch. If you have any questions about the automotive industry, please feel free to leave them down below, and maybe we'll feature them in the next video. See ya.